We could redo. Do you want to ditch the whole episode?
Yeah, we should redo it.
All right, let's ditch. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's. You know what?
I'm in for I like the good juice.
All right, we're gonna start. You know what? I don't disagree with it. All right.
Yeah.
And here we go. You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. My name is Tom Kelly. The woman wiggling her boobs right next to me is my high school best friend.
I wanted an experience.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I was looking to the side, and then I experienced people.
Yeah.
I'm a giver. I'm actually a bit flustered because I'm friends with her husband. I'm here with my high school buddy,
Shout out, babes. Love him.
Please don't kill me, babes. I'm here with my high school buddy, Daniela Anastasio Bardazzi. How do we say the
Bardazzi.
Yeah, you've been married 20 years. I should know. How many years you married?
14.
Okay, so
just last week.
Daniela is my high school best friend. She's one of my two best girlfriends from high school, Allison and Daniela. And frankly, they each half drove me crazy. And I said this before. If Daniela
feeling was mutual.
Yeah, well, sure. If Daniela and Allison had a baby, that baby would be Drew Barrymore.
I do love that. That is so funny.
It sums her up.
Valid, so valid.
And nobody will know if that. And you know what's funny is that's just enough of an obscure phrase about people that nobody knows that everyone will take that as an insult, but it's not meant as one.
Yeah, no. I mean, she's like beloved, Drew Barrymore.
Yes. Now the question is, are you and Allison?
That's questionable.
So we did a podcast episode. We're deleting it because I screwed up the sound. But it at least gave us a rough draft on things. Daniela is a wellness coach. We're not going to go too far down the road of what she does, but she specializes in weight loss. She does a lot of the work by internet. If you find her in the show notes, I can just vouch for her as being the highest quality human being I can vouch for without understanding anything of what she does for a living.
Craziness.
It's wellness. And that's it.
It's very broad, right?
But I know you're good at it because you're good at talking around that sort of stuff. I was joking about this before, but I might change the subtitle of the podcast one more time.
Okay.
And
to
owning the midlife crisis. I actually am at a point in my life where I am tired of pretending I'm something I'm not.
Right.
Okay. My whole career after Little Merman, from age 31 to now age 46, it was always, don't tell them your real age.
Right.
I remember being...
Which is like a showbiz thing.
Well, and it's hard to believe that this happens to even as a man in show business. Yeah. Everybody wants you to be 21.
Right. And that really hasn't changed at all.
And you're going to get close to that, Mike, because this is where we're having sound troubles.
I feel like with all we've been going through, it hasn't changed at all.
Well, it hasn't. I mean, and I've told this story before. I was up for an Animal Planet pilot at age 33 to 35.
So young.
And it's right when I felt good about my career. My hair was thick.
Yeah.
I was
blowing
whatever.
In the wind.
And I'm like, if I'm too old now, what the hell? Why am I doing this? And listen, I've had a great career. I don't want to knock it, but I'm tired of the whole trying to pretend I'm something I'm not. Now, I let my hair go gray during a pandemic. I started coloring it again once I started working at Drew Barrymore and Rachel Ray for the next few months because I am a man looking for work and I'm freelancing. I'm subbing in for the great Joey Cola. But I am a man looking for work and I'm looking to be on TV. But
and aesthetically, until you're completely a silver fox, that's the way to go. Well, I like that. Salt and pepper works, though, on men, I feel.
Listen, my friend Candace Dunn said I looked distinguished. And I don't know if I am a distinguished person yet, though. You know, because I am still, living life like I'm still 26.
Well, the Acid Watch sweatshirt is not distinguished, but when you clean up, you do look quite distinguished.
Well, and it's funny. I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now. Daniela's wearing a nice outfit.
I mean, not really.
I wanted to change the background because I had a friend willing to. You guys on YouTube, tell me if you like hanging out in my living room or if you like the kitchen green screen better.
I mean, the exposed brick, the decorative pillows.
But is it comfortable to talk to me? Do you feel
super comfortable? Yeah, I'm really comfortable.
Now, is it too comfortable?
Is there ever too comfortable? I mean, isn't that...
Do you feel like you're falling asleep?
No,
I'm not asking the listeners that, but do you, Daniela?
No, I'm wide awake.
Okay. Yeah. So here's my thing. And I may try to make this the first, like, it's funny. Whenever a new idea comes into my head, I suddenly say, all right, this is how I'm doing. This is my new generation of stand-up.
Got your notes.
No, but listen, I'm a comedian. I'm owning the midlife crisis. I think this podcast is truly where messed up people come to hang out. Like, but we're always trying to pretend we're more than what we are.
Yeah, I feel like everybody.
You're a little bit broken.
You're a little bit broken.
If you feel like a little bit of a weirdo, this is the home for you. And it's, but I do feel like
if you're coming to terms with the fact that there's stuff not right.
Like, and it's funny. You know? I feel like I assimilate whatever TV show I worked on last. Like when I was working on Rachel Ray, this turned into a cooking show last week.
Yeah. I like that though. I think we should do more. You should do more cooking. I like that. I think that actually. It hits, no?
I don't know. I mean, again, it's a podcast. Half the people who listen to this are only listening to this and not watching it. But like, if this is the podcast where messed up people come to hang out, and you talk about owning who I am, I am 46. This is the midlife crisis,
right?
I mean, and that's assuming I make it to 92.
Yeah, and 46 in your industry feels like
I'm 105.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I have a pill counter.
Yep.
I take blood pressure, cholesterol, and allergy pills every day.
We could turn that around. We could get you off medication.
I take Propecia, and I have a pill cutter to cut that into 4s.
I like that.
Yeah, saving $1,000 a year there.
Nice.
I wear New Balance sneakers even when I'm not running.
Oh, but I like that.
I use voice to text.
Oh, I love
these are all old people things. You know what? And I'm okay with it. I have sleep apnea. I wear a mouth guard to bed, and I take naps in the afternoon.
Sexy.
I wear my Apple AirPods even if I'm not on the phone, just to block out the noise.
So nice.
These are things old people do. You know what? There's something to be said about this.
Embrace it.
Now, there's no point in me dating women my age because they're all taken pretty much.
Or I imagine have a lot of baggage.
Yes. Yeah. And frankly, you and I have gotten into fights over setups.
Oh, you didn't speak to me. I think it was...
Oh, because you kept pushing the same whack job.
Oh, my God. She was a high-quality human being.
Are you talking to that human being anymore?
Yeah. We still
You stopped for a while. You stopped for a while.
No, because that was more my fault than her.
Yeah. She's
high quality. You're also... You have good taste in women, I have to say. So you have a lot of... You used to. I don't know if you're the same.
I am.
You definitely like...
Well, you met the one person I liked.
Girl.
I like a hot girl, and then you met Holly. Holly was the one who got away.
Beautiful, yeah.
And she was beautiful. All right, fine.
She was beautiful. She was very tall and athletic, which was...
my type, and still
hot,
is.
Yeah.
I like people who are at the top of their game.
Yeah.
Feel like I am Pete Davidson.
Right.
I need to be set up with Kim Kardashian.
Right.
And you think I'm Gilbert Gottfried, who should be set up with Kathy Griffin.
No, you are projecting your own feelings onto me.
I keep talking about wanting to date somebody, but maybe I don't.
Well, maybe you have like Frank, my dad. He's like, I don't want to grow it alone. I want someone in my life, but then she's there every Sunday.
Yeah. Now that was my favorite thing. Like your dad wants a significant other, but then he keeps finding significant others who want to have Sunday dinner with him.
No, they never leave. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. I keep explaining to him, you do have to cohabitate. Usually women do want that.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like having, I need somebody.
I get it, though.
I don't know.
I get that because you get used to your life. You have your lovely little apartment. Everything is where it needs to be. If you bring someone else into your life, they're going to have opinions on how you live, what time you get up, how you're keeping the house, the smell of the house. You get to an age where you don't want to negotiate that anymore.
So
I think it's normal.
So you were talking about on our failed show about where I glow. Where do you think I glow?
I think you glow when you own the crowd, when you're making people laugh, when you're bringing joy to people. I think this invigorates you. I see you come alive, and you sort of are in your flow. I think
now you're making it sound like I'm menstruating.
You're in your flow, and you're moody. Your moods have stabilized. So I don't know what you're doing about that.
You think my moods have stabilized?
I do. I find you to be less dark.
I feel like we're talking less. That might be it.
Oh, that might be it. You're right. Maybe like a little bit of the distance.
Yeah.
Well, I love your darkness.
Well, it sounds stupid, but owning the midlife crisis, I have no reason to believe. I have no reason other than faith to believe this.
Yeah.
But I do believe 2023 is going to be my year.
I'm with you.
I don't know why.
Well,
I don't know how.
Because I think
I don't know with whom.
you're a little more open to the possibility of not being identified by your career.
Okay.
Right? So this is a big thing we have to talk about. Like, seeding your identity in your career. You should be invigorated and inspired by making people laugh. But all of this,
Well, you used a phrase on the Broken Show.
Yeah.
Career identity.
Yes.
Define that for a second.
So career identity is I feel strong because I'm really good at this thing. This is what I know how to do. I get paid to do it. So it's this.
And that's the hard part is with that, there's gatekeepers.
Sure.
Now you have mom identity.
Yeah.
But if your kids turn out to be douches.
I'd like to renounce that identity.
Yeah, but then or if the kids are having a bad day, the kids are momos, or or a lot of people have significant other.
Yeah.
Identity.
Sure.
If your significant other leaves you,
well, who
are you less of a person?
Right.
Yeah.
Or they're hold.
So how do we create identities
Without that?
without identities, I guess?
I feel like a great practice is, and I learned this from my transition. I was 20 years in fashion, and then I moved out of the country for 5 years, and I was virtually reinventing.
And Daniela was a big deal in fashion. Daniela worked, and again, I hate these labels,
Right, 'cause I
but it'll
feel
make
like I was a
everybody's
big
ears
deal.
perked up.
Right.
But Daniela worked for many years for Issac Mizrahi.
I worked for
You were
Issac Mizrahi,
You were
Michael
her.
Kors.
You were his. Were you with Michael Kors too? Oh,
Yeah,
he's
when he
good.
was very small. I think we were like 40 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and there you go. And then she wound up running her own fashion line, which for whatever reasons that had nothing to do with her, it kind of went another way. Now, that said, and then you were 30 something.
Yeah, with
40
two small
something.
babies.
Two small babies.
I
and
uprooted. I have an Italian passport, and I told my Italian husband I want to do this for a year. It turned into 5 years, and within that period, it was a transitional period where I would freelance and whatnot. But my heart was not really. I didn't feel tethered to fashion anymore. I didn't feel excited by it. I felt very drained, and I also felt very attached to it because that's all I knew. And I felt very scared to sit in the silence of the void. I won't even say silence. I felt like a void of being who I am without it because I identified so much and I worked so much and that felt so much part of who I was.
Okay. So now when your identity is taken away from you, how do you find an identity? Or is it you just had a foot in, luckily you had a husband and kids?
Listen, we had controlled our expenses a lot, right? So I still worked some freelance projects, but I very much knew that I should be getting into something new. I just didn't know what. And so I just decided through a lot of sitting in silence and sort of the messages I was getting was...
Actually, all kidding aside, was it meditating and sitting in silence?
Yeah, I did a lot. So I joined a hiking group of my girlfriend, Ladies Adventures, giving her a shout out in Florence, Italy. Incredible.
Because we're big in Florence.
Yeah, we're very big in Florence. So wait till you see your numbers. But that walking, hours of walking, I'm telling you, even walking the city streets, I walked and I walked and I walked. And little by little, it was just help other people. The more you help other people and you show up for other people, the more you'll see your gifts sort of come out and see what is meant for you. And it really, I think that's the best advice you can.
So getting quiet and walking.
Yeah, and being there for people. I think you, Tom, make people laugh. That's what makes you feel good. Right now you're struggling because you're reflecting, you're looking at this industry of like, okay, so I don't have a name. My name's not in lights. I don't have like a Friday night show. Models aren't throwing themselves at me because this sort of defines fame and success.
Yeah, and God damn it, I thought by 46, this is going to sound stupid, but there would be somebody throwing themselves at me.
Yeah, I think that's not out of the question for you. I think you just have to do you. I mean, you are healing in a way on this podcast, I think.
Well, and there you go. So we're owning the midlife crisis. There you go. So back to me.
Yeah.
You
favorite topic.
You have not been on this incarnation of the podcast.
No.
You were on this show again with my best friend Mike McGarrigle and Andrew Garcia. And actually, we re-aired one of those episodes with Holly, the woman who is the standard for girls I want to date, without going too far down that road of what I had. What do you remember about me when we were young? Oh, and the other one we didn't say on this podcast was I was the vice president of our senior class.
That's right.
Daniela was the president, but it was very much I was Cheney pulling Bush's strings relationship. Or we could say I was Kamala Harris pulling Biden's strings, whatever political party you want to do. Mm-hmm. But what do you remember about me?
Listen, I remember you always had a good spirit. You had a lot of courage. You're always going to go after. You were very finite in who you wanted to be and where you wanted to go. And so I can see now why there's a heartbreak, because you were very focused. You were very focused. You knew where you had to go. You were also a tether between many groups. Do you remember that? You were friends. First of all, this man remembers everything. I don't remember anything.
I like people.
Everyone, everything. You loved people. You were so into the community at school.
I was and I wasn't. You know what it was? And again, even like what I say about this podcast, I think we all felt like outcasts by senior year.
Sure.
None of us, we didn't necessarily even like each other. And I think we had 90s angst, and that is what bonded us together.
Yeah, and it's also a smaller private school. I feel like now that I see my kids in public school and I've had them in private, the crowd is larger, so there's more competition, there's more niches.
Everybody had their own little identity. Like there was, the basketball players played basketball.
Right.
The football guys did the football thing.
There was the goth crowd. There was like the potheads.
And we kind of let everybody live and let live by senior year.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like everybody for themselves. And we were a small crowd. We knew everybody. It was a small school.
Yeah. So what do you remember about me?
So I just remember you being really in the know about everybody, no matter what group they came from.
Why didn't I get more in high school? Why didn't you try to sleep with me?
I mean, I was a weird person.
Oh, yeah, you were dating.
I only liked gay men. I really only.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, we are allowed to say that. Yeah.
So
kind of exclusively. They're just more fun. They had better style, and I just thought, well, I think they're straight for sure. And then maybe deep down, I knew. But that was my type.
So
that was my type.
This is a good one to end on.
You're too straight for me, Tom.
I'm too straight. Whereas her husband, just gay enough. And he is.
He is. He's European.
He's very European.
He's not afraid of a fitted pant. His shirts aren't oversized.
Okay. So we're going to a party later. We're going to our friend Brian Kist's house. Mm-hmm. Okay. Brian Kist is nervous about me telling a story at his house.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
my question for you is, if I were going to your house, is there a story I know about you that you would not want me to tell?
First of all, I feel like that's over with because you have told I don't know what's left, but is there a story?
I mean, I don't know. Is there? I could go. You're right. I mean, I thought dated gay men in high school would have been one.
Yeah.
Ticked off your first husband on our podcast that was one.
Yeah, that was another.
There you go. There was another husband. Do your kids know you were married before this?
They don't. It's never come
no!
up. I know.
No. Okay, there you go.
I know. I never thought about when to bring it up or.
That mommy was married to a nice but weird man for
a great
6
guy,
weeks.
No? Yeah.
He was until he started blaming me for your marital problems.
Remember that? I don't know.
Well, I just thought it was funny. Like, you got to understand. I thought, and this is a difference between me, young me, and even adult me.
Yeah.
Divorce makes me giggle. Especially if there's no kids damage and it's a clean split.
For sure. There's no
your
kids.
Divorce was kind of like a happy, fun divorce. You went your way, he was going the other, but he still loved you more than I thought he should have.
Yeah,
I always told him he could do better.
He could, and he did.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he married his high school sweetheart.
Okay, and oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Whereas mine has me blocked on Facebook. Actually, a couple of them do.
That's okay.
Actually, no, they don't. I do have
You
them.
get him on the burner account.
No, I started on following and muting people though, because I want you to be happy. I just don't need to know the names of your kids.
Yeah. No. Listen.
But I want to be connected too.
I don't mess with the Facebook because of that. I find people wildly uninteresting. I don't need to. I have my own stuff. I don't need more pictures and insights on yours. I feel that truly.
All right, we need to end big. This podcast is not nearly as exciting as the first one was.
You think so?
I think the first one was better because, and I'll tell you why, because we talked about things that made people squirm.
Yeah. Oh no, because we didn't get back to the party. So
Well, what is a story you don't want me to tell? I guess we hit one already. That's an easy one. Is next time I see your kids now. Here's the thing about going to parties where I'm not allowed to tell stories now.
Okay, now
making
you're
this about
tell
you.
them.
No, but now it's going to make me very uncomfortable to see your children and know that. I mean, I'm even afraid of them listening to this, because here's what's going to happen now: we're going to stop the podcast, and you're going to say, "I don't know, I can't tell my children now to listen to your show."
No, that's not true. First of all, they love YouTube Shorts, so just make it into a.
Well, no, but what happens if your kid finds
you just took it off of me? That's fine. That's great. Then if they're like, Mom, I just found this out.
You're telling me right now that
I just outsourced that.
Your kids are going to hear this family secret.
Maybe. Why is
from
it
the
family
podcast?
Secret though?
Because you haven't told them.
Because it hasn't come to my mind to tell them.
It hasn't. I mean,
I don't know where it's valid, but
this is the man that could have been your father. Here's old Joe.
No, because they would have been a different person. Think about it. They wouldn't have, I think that's a cool story. Anything like, I made this big life
Isn't
choice.
your daddy so much better than this guy?
Like, aren't you happy this worked out? Like, here you are, the best family ever, incarnation in this world. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, listen, I never even
my family is full of stories like that. And I want to be careful about this because my father likes his privacy. Okay. And my father is I move forward kind of a guy.
Right.
But I mean,
you found out about them he didn't tell you personally about all these stories?
He was just like where you're at right now.
Okay.
I don't think he was not telling me.
Right.
My father is very much I'm here, I'm in this moment, this is what we're doing. There is, and there are few relatives there, that we're speaking to.
Right.
I guess we always knew we had a sister. But then I remember just being at a funeral and saying, "Go hug that woman and you call her aunt, whatever." Okay. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. And don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
That's
confusing though.
No, that one was, but that's an easy. But and even that, I'm exaggerating that moment. We knew, but there were other little details that I don't want to fill in for violating the family privacy things, where you go bum bum bum, and we owned land in Utah. It wasn't like it was.
Yeah. No.
Or an easy one is like. I don't even know if I have a good
because this one is strange. I do feel like my kids are getting to that age where this is life. I mean, there's so many things that come back to me with now because they're watching all these weird videos and stuff comes up. You got to explain. I'm not ashamed of it. You know what I mean? I think it's something completely. I don't know how they would digest it, I guess.
But I mean, there's also something to be said about why wallow in the family secret. Now, for me, with the story I have about Brian Kist, I consider it a sweet and formative story of our friendship.
I agree.
Brian does not want to be defined by the fact that we both had that one sailboating experience in common.
Right. Which is unfortunate.
He thinks, oh my God, that's going to get me kicked out of my yacht club in my landlocked city.
Exactly. Which it's like, well, it depends how you tell your story. But yeah, I think.
Yeah. And you know what? When you have Tom Kelly running around loose.
Right. You can't decide how people's stories go. They have to decide. That's true.
But your kids who are on YouTube all the time
could now learn this story.
So I'm going to go straight to camera.
Loves you.
Hi, Nico, Teo. It's Uncle Tom Kelly. I want you guys to know Mom loves you. Your dad loves
so
you.
Much.
And that your father could have been a gay man in high school had your mom stuck with her high school boyfriend. And yes, your mom was married before your dad, but I promise you, your dad is better looking.
He's number one.
Yeah. Now, if the other guy's listening, before you start threatening to kill me, right? Because that happened on the first podcast 20 years ago. I hope you did well too.
He did excellent. He's super happy.
Good. I think that's all I got to say.
Yeah. Listen, life works out.
By the way, Nico, Teo, just so you know,
Uncle Tom's leaving you everything.
Uncle Tom wants you to know that the man who could have been your father owns Facebook. The other man was Mark Zuckerberg. You could have been billionaires. But no, Mom wanted to marry a much hotter, more athletic man who you call dad.
Go vanity.
Yeah. By the way, your dad could have been Harry Styles. That was the gay man I was talking about.
Or... look at all this. All of this could have been yours.
No, let's be very clear. If I were your father, if your mom took a shot at this when she was in high school, your mom would be dead and I'd be in prison for murdering her. Okay, you married, you did much better,
It's debatable.
Or I would have been dead.
Who would have been dead first?
Yeah, your mom, one of us would have cracked pretty damn quick.
Oh, see,
is there anything you wanted to?
Great godfather.
I really, you know what's funny? That was on my list of things. I have turned down being a godfather a couple times.
That was smart.
I am my goddaughter Kaylee, but I'm very involved in her life.
Nice.
Or I try to be. And then my brother's son TJ, his picture's there, and Kaylee's picture is up on the brown picture over there.
I mean, you are.
That's me at a religious ceremony. I've had a few people ask because they just needed a Catholic on the paperwork, and I'm like,
I know. I said yes probably twice, and I shouldn't have because I've
actually
abandoned my.
Now, are you talking about godparenting or marriage? All right, that's the ending we need, people. All right, that's the show, people. Listen, if you have a chance, I haven't asked this in a while, share the podcast with somebody who might enjoy the podcast.
Not too
A
many
lot of our
people,
high school buddies are listening right now. I doing the magic mirror. I see Karen. I see Dan. I see Brian. I see Carla, checking to make sure we're not talking about her. I see Cindy up in Albany. I see Warren. Do me a favor, guys. Tell other people this happened and that I'm doing this at least twice a week. And you can catch the video and audio version of this all at TomKellyShow.com. Rate me on Apple. What are the other asks? I haven't done asks in a while. Rate and share and comment if you're on YouTube. And I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, I think.
All right. Until next time,
Tom.
good night, New York.